Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flaws, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause it's sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Hi, Bullhorn Betty. Thank you for my shirt. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Kids Club.
guys, I'm Bullhorn Betty, and this is the Bullhorn Betty channel, where we're taking a deep dive into Sebastian Rogers. We have been covering the case since the early part of March, prior to or the day of the interview of both mom and stepdad. What we learned was there were some questionable statements made. And then we started looking into the parents, which really ruffled the feathers of the mom, more importantly, the stepdad. He felt that if we just took all the drama out of this, there's nothing here to see except a teenage boy that just simply ran away from home. That couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, this mom and stepfather has hired some of the most vile people to assist them in locating their son. From past felons that are currently committing crimes to questionable people with questionable pasts such as substance abuse, where one of their searchers is seen in the woods utilizing substances through a straw and a dollar bill up that person's nostrils, inhaling whatever it was that he was doing. Then you have another content creator that is filthy, which again is just representation of the people that they hire to assist them. And then lastly, one of the main supporters of the mom and stepdad has now 2 new civil actions against her, one for child custody and another one for stalking her ex-pregnant girlfriend. So, and then after that, an incident report came about where she or her other daughter put bruises on her youngest daughter's throat. Again, this just kind of embodies the type of people that are representing Sebastian's mom and stepfather. While I never criticize anybody's past, because let's face it, we all have one. It's the difference between somebody that has overcome that and has redeemed themselves versus somebody that has continuously done this throughout the pattern of their story and is continuing to do it. No redemption, no remorse, just continuing the same bad behavior over and over again, expecting different results. Sebastian Rogers deserves better than this. He deserves the right type of people searching for him and looking for him. There has been a lot of statements made from the mom and the stepfather, predominantly the stepfather, Chris Proudfoot. And I've got to say, the inconsistency, the anger, the vitriol, and the threats and intimidation that he has posed to just about anybody and everybody searching for his son, his stepson, has me very, very, very concerned, including my own arrest. For what? For doing my job and speaking out against him, as well as law enforcement in the area. This makes you take a back seat because you see parents that are spending more time trying to shut my mouth than they are searching for their own missing child that disappeared from their own home. Why? That is the question we should be all asking ourselves, is why. We're going to be going over this case a little more in depth. I hope you stay tuned. We have a lot to discuss and a new case to bring up. I thank you all for being here. I hope you take the time before we start to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please consider doing so. If you would like to help me with my legal expenses, or just to support the efforts that we're doing, we have a variety of ways that you can contribute. From the GoFundMe to help me fight specifically with my legal expenses. We have Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. We have an Amazon wish list if you just want to give me a thank you item or buy something special for the Lila. Again, this is truly a family, and we've truly come together for the sake of Sebastian Rogers. And we're going to continue to fight for him. And we're going to continue to expose the mom and stepdad's weird behaviors and inconsistent statements. and we're going to expose those around them that are doing nefarious things to prevent the search or Sebastian being found. I hope you guys support all the creators that have come together to say no to this nonsense and to keep Sebastian first and foremost. God bless each and every one of you watching this, and have a great day. What we do know as fact, however, is that Seth has been searching for his son ever since his son disappeared. Seth has publicly taken a polygraph. He has publicly produced his work records. This man has done everything he could possibly do, including working with the FBI, working with me to advocate for his son, calling on the national media, getting Nick the Hat and Dog the Bounty Hunter, and we're here with what from the mom and stepfather? Nothing for almost 10 months. Shoddy searches at best, working with an unscrupulous PI, felons, and including one searcher utilizing substances, illicit substances, while searching for their son. It's Friday! It's Friday! Sorry, Delilah. Precious little baby. I'm surprised you're not used to that by now. Only every now and again do you poke your head up. Poor baby. Poor baby. Poor spoiled Delilah. You beautiful people have made it to the end of the week. God bless you. You guys are on the Bullhorn Betty channel, so you might want to adjust the volume just a little bit. Just a little bit. Good morning. Good morning. It is nice to see you this beautiful Friday. If you guys are wondering why I'm dark, right? Because my computer battery apparently it didn't charge. I guess the cord was out of it. So you guys know I run my lights through my computer. So today we're running without lights. But we have enough lights from the gorgeous Florida sun. It is starting to warm up in Florida. I am praying to God you guys are getting a little more warmth, and some oomph in your step instead of, icicles. It's nice to see you all this beautiful morning. Who do we got in chat? I'm just going to go up just a little bit because we've already got 320 people. So good morning, Hen House, our beautiful Sonia, and the rest of our mod squad. It's nice to see you, Kendra, Smiley's Story World. It's nice to see you, Michelle, Alicia, Pebbles. It's nice to see you, Kimberly, SPED teacher. Melody says number 1, KP was trained in the military. 2, there was cameras. And if that was off or disabled, shows motive in cover up. 3, she was an alarm system employee. 3, all go to TV, shows how they lie. I think that's what you were saying. Thank you. Brown-eyed girl, it's nice to see you. Bam Bam, it's nice to see you as well. We got Pebbles and Bam Bam in the house. We just need Fred and what was Wilma? All right, who's going to be the Fred? Who's going to be the Wilma? We got to have the whole gang. And then what? Barney Rebels. What was Barney's wife's name? I can never remember Barney's wife's name. And when somebody says it, I'm like, oh, that's right. Michelle, it's nice to see you. Good morning, Honey Dip, Crazy Cat Lady. River's up in the house. It's nice to see you. Michelle, Brennan, it's nice to see you as well. Star, good morning. We got 2 Michelles up in the house so far, probably a lot more. So good morning, all my Michelles. Lisa, good morning. Cinda, Sadie, it's nice to see you. Debbie, Busted Flush, it's nice to see you. Pussy Willow Pendercat, great to see you. Emma's up in the house. It's nice to see you, Emma. You can't see me. It's nice to see you. Mary, good morning. Good morning. True Crime with Sweet Melissa. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well today. Sharon, good morning. Phil, Veronica B, True Crime, Brown Eyed Girl. Butterfly kisses. Mona, it's nice to see you. Kim, good morning. Donna, Cheryl, good morning. It's nice to see you. Eveline, hopefully I said that right. All the way from Holland. Good morning. It's nice to see you. Alice, it's nice to see you. Alice Lynn, Beauty and More, good morning. Emma, good morning. Miss Sarah C., good morning. Passion Flower, Frank. Star, I don't know if I can't remember if I said hi to you, so good morning. Good morning. Tar Heel, it's nice to see you. Caroline, Melody, Feisty Mama, good morning. Love Bugs, Lisa Ann, Teresa, good morning. Karen, hey Jude, it's nice to see you, love. Diana, good morning. See if I'm Nana, Niner Nana, Janice. Who else am I missing? Olive, Mama Smurf's up in the house this morning. It's nice to see you, Love Bug. Diane, Samantha, good morning. Dee. Forrest, it's nice to see you, Love Bug. I hope you're doing well this morning. Ashley, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So everybody, good morning. And I have the fundraiser. As many of you guys know, we are pushing for the fundraiser. We're trying to collect as much as we can. The expenses are high, payments are needed. And so if you guys would love to support that initiative, I'm going to, depending on the battery life, hopefully we don't run our battery in the negative since it wasn't charging. So if everything goes well, by the time we're over, we'll open up the phone lines. If we can't open the phone lines or we run way, way, way over in time because it's a long interview, then we'll open up a phone line in like 3 or 4 hours. We'll just come back and we'll just do another live and just immediately open the phone lines. We've done that as well. I almost sometimes like that because people have time to process what we hear and they come back and they have more, we have a beneficial conversation. So we're going to be covering the Websleuths interview. I think this is kind of interesting. We're going to go right to where the stepfather comes up on panel. There's a lot of conversation before that. So I'm going to be dropping the link in chat for everybody. So you guys can go watch the entire interview. It's quite lengthy, but I definitely recommend everybody watching the entire interview. Everything that was going on before the stepfather came up on panel. And then, of course, you know, we're going to get through some of the stuff. I believe there was some unintentional stuff released that now that we're at this point in the case, we need to go back and review because this was more of a hot-headed moment for the stepfather. And when you have a hothead, things slip out. It's what I think the deception deck refers to as leakage. I'm still going through all of the videos. You know, I'm trying to identify, like, work with one card and then go through like the deception detectives list and just look at what he's described as, say, leakage or passive voice or something like that. I'll do critical, like, key searches in there and just learn about those cards. But I believe that this one, if I can find it, I wasn't prepared this morning. I was thinking off the top of my head as I was saying it. And it says, for the leakage card, it says, liars can unintentionally reveal the truth through their choice of words, as it's challenging to suppress real memories while telling falsehood. If someone repeatedly uses an unusual phrase or word, it might be a clue worth investigating. And we just had this unscrupulous PI on the Lore Lodge, and we know that the deception detective has, you know, he said if we can get all of the videos up to 50,000 views, he will look at another interview. But here's the kicker. Like, everybody wants him to look at the Lore Lodge interview. And while I want him to look at Lore Lodge interview, I think we can all have the opinion that there was a lot of deception in that interview with the unscrupulous PI. I don't think, just hear me out. I just don't think that we need the, at this juncture, we need the deception detective reviewing something we already know. I would like him to get a hold of this video, the Websleuths video. Why? Because, again, this is one of the first times the stepfather loses his cool. So this would be a very vulnerable moment honestly, whether you believe it or not, a vulnerable moment for the mom and stepfather, because when you're a hothead, you're not thinking clearly. You're angry, and that's clouding your judgment. So I almost, if he hasn't, I would almost love this particular interview to be analyzed by the deception detective to help find, some more leakage or other things that we can kind of identify, because I think this is a good interview. I also want to thank the people that have been supporting and sponsoring. Thank you, me and you. God bless you. She says, good morning, Betty and Delilah. Good morning to you. Delilah's snug as a bug in a rug right next to me, as always. She doesn't like leaving me at all. It's great. I'm just joking. I love my baby. I love her so much. But every now and again, just one time I would like to go pee without having two eyes sitting at my feet looking up at me. Okay. I'm just saying, privacy with a dog is gone. You have no privacy. If you thought you were a private person, you're no longer private. Okay. It just doesn't happen anymore, but I love it. I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. Good morning, Valerie. Valerie is the newest member to this crazy crew we call the Coffee Club. Welcome, Valerie. i.e. the Insane Asylum. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard this crazy train. Ren, good morning, love bug. Reminding everybody to please smash that like button. Our beautiful Eeyore Blue. Thank you, love bug. It's nice to see you, honey. Emma, she says, good morning once all. Good morning, all. Sending love to Seth. Thank you so much, Emma. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I know he absolutely appreciates that. Veronica B, True Crime. Good morning, love bug. I hope you're doing wonderful today. And look at this. Our beautiful Ren gifted 10 Bullhorn Betty memberships. The Insane Asylum starting to get full. Love this. Thank you, Brown Eyed Girl. We're going to get our use out of this. I'm sorry. Oh, we need a laugh. We need a laugh because we're about to dive into some real sadness, okay? And we're going to be jumping in with both feet. Some of the victims have been identified. And I got to say, when I watch this, I can't play the music because the music is copyrighted on YouTube. So I'm going to play some of our music behind the scenes while this plays. I can tell you I was highly emotional. Oh, thank you, Robin. Our beautiful Robin gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell your sponsor thank you. Welcome to this insane asylum. I don't know how you guys put up with me. I really don't know how you guys put up with me. But this is it really does kind of choke me up. So if it's too emotional for you guys, or you never know, this might be hitting somebody that is part of our true crime community. There was a lot of people on that, but most importantly, guys, there were a lot of kids. There were a lot of youngsters on there. That is what is hurting my heart right now. That is what's hurting my heart. I saw what I saw, and I don't care what kind of word salad comes out of any of our alphabet soup. I'm sorry. I just saw what I saw. I know what I know. And I said it, yesterday, that this doesn't look right. It doesn't feel right to me, right? All my love to Beth. Oh, thank you. Yes. And let's not forget to pray very, 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 very hard for Sebastian Rogers, as well as his dad. His dad, I've been reviewing like the deception detective. I didn't realize he actually analyzed Seth. And I was really happy that he has. Everybody keeps saying we're ignoring this, we're ignoring that. No, we're not. It's just nothing to see over here. And it's just, I don't know. I didn't realize he had done it, so I'm going there because I'm doing my part. You know, I want to raise him up to 50 because I want another analysis. So I hope you guys join me with that and go over to the Deception Detective and watch all of them if you haven't. Oh, thank you, Robin. God bless you. I appreciate that. Thank you, guys. If you guys received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Robin thank you. Welcome to the Insane Asylum.
Bullshit level, DEFCON 5.
What would it be without Bullhorn Betty and her buttons? It should be Button Betty instead of Bullhorn Betty. We got a new Betty. You can see I'm really trying to drag my butt. I'm really not enjoying going into this next piece. I'm not at all. So we're just going to be here thank you so much. We're just going to be here for a second because I just want everybody to prepare themselves because, like I said, it was very emotional for me. Okay. It was emotional. Okay. I just want you to know that these are the victims. All right. Let me get my music. It's going to be tough, guys. I'm telling you. I just don't say I didn't warn you. Which one do we want?
You say I make you nervous, a tragedy. I'm a beautiful disaster, a reckoning. You want?
Oh, sorry.
You think I'm someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change. Oh.
If you could see him now, you'd be proud.
Once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same.
I'm cutting your heads off. Hold on.
Can't bear the things I've had to face. Got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change. Oh, you'll break your back to make me feel again. Suffocate to make me breathe again. Lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change. Oh, redemption never came. I stopped asking for forgiveness, cause you should know only fools tread where the angels fear to go, but you keep trying to get too close. Save myself by turning into stone. So save your judgment cause you just don't know. But some things never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change.
So, like I said, I couldn't play the music behind, that was playing with that because of copyright and stuff like that. But I just wanted you guys to understand how many beautiful kids were on that. Kids that were talented, ice skaters. They had gifts. They were going to be going places with their skills. At such young ages, look at how beautiful they were on the ice and how talented. This person that took a plane down with children, a lot of children in it. Of all the planes in the whole world, this is the one that had all the children in it. Ice skaters. Talented. I don't believe it was an accident. I'm not going to believe it was an accident, Caroline. They're gonna have to get me off this fence because the more I'm looking into it this morning, the more I'm reading reports, it looks like there was something else here. Because there's notes, there's just some disturbing stuff I'm hearing behind the scenes. So until there's more to this, I'm sorry. I need more information either way it goes. There's a whole entire plane of children and they haven't even found them yet. And I think we need to get this. I'm sorry, but the plane was higher elevation than they were allowed to be to begin with. So again, there's a lot of things that people need to take into consideration here. And I'm not listening to, I want to see the information. Caroline, I'm going to get my own information. You can believe the way you want to. I appreciate, your information. You're more than welcome to send me what you found to Bullhorn Betty. I'm a reasonable person and we'll look at whatever, but I'm angry right now about that. I'm angry about the victims. This is looking really not good. This is not good. All right. So getting on, we all know that the boy behind me has been missing since February 26th when he was 15 years old. On December 7th, he turned 16. He is a boy from Hendersonville, Tennessee, and he went to Beach High School. He is a high functioning autistic boy that disappeared allegedly in the middle of the night from his home. His mom and stepdad believe he ran away from home. There are a lot of people that are having a little problem struggling with that theory, that assumption and opinion, because at the end of the day, there's no evidence whatsoever that this boy willingly walked out of the home. As a matter of fact, there's evidence to the contrary. And so over the last, I'd say, month and a half now, we've learned a lot of disturbing information. Happy birthday, Nathaniel. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday from the Bullhorn Betty channel. Happy birthday to you. Oh, wrong one. I'm so sorry.
Will you shut up already?
I'm trying over here, okay? I'm sorry. People want me to talk. What can I say? I can't shut up at this moment. But happy birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you have an amazing birthday. I love Friday birthdays. I don't know how old you are, but no, maybe we shouldn't talk about never mind. I don't remember. It doesn't count. Just saying. I hope you have an amazing birthday. God bless you. And we better stay out of memory lane. It's gotten Bullhorn Betty into too much trouble. It looks like an accident, premeditated. It can't be both. I agree with that. I just want a little more information because what I'm hearing is disturbing. And I understand Caroline's position as well, because it's not looking good. It's going to be better for everybody all the way around to say this is an accident. But I'm just not, I don't trust my government. So I have this thing called a brain and I have these things called eyes, right? And I have these things called ears. And so I'm going to use the eyes and the ears and try to decipher through the word salad, and that's what I got to deal with. I deal with politics a lot. I'm familiar with word salad. I identify it immediately and I can filter through the BS because of how things are always written. And that's an important thing. Learn how statements are written from law enforcement. Do some analysis on it. Study it. Learn it. It's going to be beneficial. If you're in true crime, you need to understand these things. You need to identify these things because it's important. When you're starting to read something, it allows you to read through the BS because they use standard words because it's standard practice. So they have standard way of feeding BS to people, okay? They have a standard methodical way of shoveling bull crap up the skirts of the United States of America, okay? I'm just saying, okay? You don't have to believe me. Yeah, it was a clear night, though, Caroline. It was a clear night. I'm sorry. that this plane had lights just blinking off of it. We could see it from freaking miles away. We could see the helicopter. If we're seeing a helicopter from that far away on a lens, and we can see that helicopter crystal clear, by the way, and see that helicopter going into this huge lit plane sitting in front of it, and just manages to T-bone it in an altitude that Black Hawk wasn't even supposed to be in by almost 100 feet. There's more here. And not only that, Caroline, let's talk about how that chopper kept going down and up and down and up, right? It was in an isolated area for entirely too long. What about that? I've got a lot of questions. I've analyzed a lot of footage. I'm sorry. I get your point. I understand what you're trying to impress here, but I'm not looking at the words. I'm looking at what happened. I'm deciding for myself what happened. I'm not allowing somebody to tell me what happened. So I'm not even analyzing this case. I'm not going through it. We're going to give the updates as the updates are given. I'm going to have my analysis. We know Caroline disagrees with Bullhorn Betty's analysis. So God bless you. I appreciate the other side. There might be other people that believe too. I don't know. I'm just saying my gut's telling me something's not right here. And I trust you know what? My guts has not let me down yet. It hasn't. My gut hasn't let me down yet. So I'm just going to trust my gut. Who knows? I might be wrong, but I feel like there's more here. So I'm just going to keep, going in and seeing what I can find out, and seeing if there's nothing, I will stand on it, that there's nothing to see over here. It was just a mechanical error, right? That's the only error that it could be, by the way, is mechanical error. And if there is no mechanical error, then we got problems. So once that black box is pulled, which I absolutely believe it will be, if it hasn't already, because usually they go in before they pull all the wreckage out, they go in and send divers in to get the black boxes. So we'll be able to, at least we know that they're going to be able to hear what was going on in the cockpits of both of those units. I'm waiting for that analysis to come out. So once that analysis comes out, then we'll have a good understanding. Black Hawks are huge. They're a very powerful piece of equipment for our military. But I also know that there's been a lot of releases of generals plotting against our president, period. So they have been fired and removed. And they did, and it was a secret op. Like, they put these interviews. You could see the person making these statements and talking about these phone calls and talking about how they're going to be defecting in our military. Like, this is out there. This has been leaked to the American people. There's people in jail right now for it. So we definitely have people. They were just in a war room, Caroline. You can't tell me you did not hear that story. They were in a war room. I can't remember the guy. There was a lady that had him out at a restaurant, and it must have been somebody he perceived as close that was setting him up. He knew she was a reporter, and he was opening his mouth, and she was recording the whole thing. And they immediately removed him. It was definitely all over the news, because I think, I don't know if I covered it, but it wasn't that long ago either. It was right before inauguration, as a matter of fact. It was right before inauguration. Because I remember when I read it, I was thinking Trump's not even in office yet. And they're already making preparations for when he is. It was highly disturbing for me. So there is some things going on. And then we also had the CIA director. Did you hear about that? Or one of the, not the director, but one of the analysts is now facing 25 years for leaking war material in the Hamas-Israel war, and got people hurt. And they found out who it is. He was an analysis, CIA for us, and he was in Cambodia. and he leaked our secrets. So he's been arrested. He's facing up to 25, and he was just 28, just starting out in life. Got an amazing career in the CIA and tarnished his name and reputation, and now is being arrested and charged for treason. Trust me, I'm here all day long doing nothing but researching behind the scenes. I work literally around the clock all day long, listening and watching from, I'm heavily in politics, but there's a lot going on in our military. And so and I know I'm absolutely hyper aware of that. And so that's why I was very cautioned when I heard that this was a Black Hawk, and I heard it and you can review the image, and it was a clear night. I mean, sometimes people have to fly without their equipment, and they have to be able to navigate. Now, if it was stormy weather, if it was foggy, if their view was obscured somehow, I would have no problem immediately saying, well, this has got to be an accident. And then if it shows to not be an accident, then I would be off the fence. But seeing this with my own eyes and having some type of knowledge, it to me does not feel right. And that's what I'll still stand on. I'm not saying it's one way or the other. I'm just saying something doesn't seem right here. If it doesn't smell right and doesn't seem right for me, then I want to look into it a little bit more. I live on a base that flies. Hold on, what did she say? She goes, I live on the base that flies jets all the time. Well, and I understand that. But you yourself is not a pilot. So, yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I don't want to be insulting or anything or hurt. That's not my motivation or anything like that. Not my intent. So just a healthy disagreement on this. I just prefer more information, but to each their own. You guys can all see the crash yourself and make the determination for yourself. For me, something doesn't feel right, and I'm just going to stand on that until determined conclusively one way or another. But I don't even think they've been able to conclusively state that it's an accident, because X doesn't seem like anybody thinks it is. I don't know. Anyways, let's move on from that. We'll get some more information. I am monitoring it. I'm on X. I'm on all of the feeds. So I am watching this just for my own curiosity to find out what happened, because now I'm kind of a little more invested than I once was, because now I know that there was a lot of young children on that plane, and that really upsets me. So I want to make sure that those children have, if something happened to them that was unjust, I mean, this is obviously a tragedy, but if it's an unjust, like if it was an accident, that's one thing. Accidents happen, loss of life happens. It's a tragic tragedy, right? But if it was intentional, that's a whole nother level for me, especially seeing children on this plane. So, it's just bothersome. So I just want to, I personally want to look under the hood a little bit deeper as an American citizen, as that being a piece of equipment that we, the people, purchased, that we, the people, are responsible for. I want to know more information. They work for us, and I want to know all the details. Period. We're on the hook for everything. Do I have a poll going? I don't have a poll going. I don't think I have a poll going. I didn't put a poll up yet. I didn't know what poll to put up, because I'm kind of, this has been a rough week, I don't know what else to say other than that. It's been truly a rough week for me. With some things going on, we're approaching a year milestone for Sebastian. He hasn't been found. We have a plane full of children in the Potomac. I mean, it's not a good week. It's, anybody with a heart can agree that this has been a very somber and emotional week. I don't know what else to say. I mean, there was a time when I just sat behind this computer and just, my heart cried, and just, it's just sad. Some of this stuff gets to me, but you know what? I've always said when it stops getting to me is when I'm going to hang up my hat. because it means that I'm conditioned, and I don't want to be conditioned. I think feeling the way I feel is what allows me to continue on and to fight, not have any predetermined outcomes, and just find out where we're at. All right, guys. So getting back on track, we kind of took a little bit of a detour. I wasn't expecting to spend that much time on the plane, but I digress. Anyways, thank you, Caroline, for at least getting your thoughts out there on that. I do appreciate that. So thank you. Also, there is going to be a vigil for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers on March 1st. It's going to be at church. I keep telling myself, I say it 3 times, and for whatever reason, every time I get on here, it falls out of my head. I don't get what is wrong with me. It just falls right on out. Where is it? I thought I had it. Did I not? There it is. It'll be at the Celebration of Life Church. The Celebration of Life Church. This is a prayer vigil. Again, we still, despite our theories are just that. They're theories. They are not conclusive, and they're not final, right? So despite what our theories may be, the bottom line is we don't know what happened to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, nor do we know where he is. I can guarantee there has been hundreds of people searching for him for almost a year, and nobody has turned up anything. We had law enforcement boots on the ground the morning he disappeared, and there were several things that we learned that first week, 8 days worth of information when law enforcement was communicating with the public. And what we had learned is that there was no independent scent of Sebastian leaving that home. We learned that Sebastian was not seen on any camera in the area at all, either walking up and down the road, walking out of his house, or otherwise. There's no footage, security footage, or any other CCTV footage in the area that displays or indicates that Sebastian was walking or left his home on his own. And there's no eyewitness seeing Sebastian. We have learned from Brandon Carter just recently that they believe that the 26th, now that there's images circulating of showing something a little more significant going on the outside of the Sebastian Rogers home, the Proudfoot home, as they're approaching a vehicle, somebody has analyzed some footage and analyzed it enough where you can see some figures in it. We're still working on what we're truly seeing there, but we definitely know it's human beings. And it's human beings approximately 3 hours before this child disappeared. We had some audio leak that we did not entertain because we couldn't source where the audio came from. Nobody could definitively tell me that, XYZ neighbor, and I'm very confidential. So, thank you, Terry F. God bless you. Yay, 5 wonderful months watching you with updates. Thank you, Terry. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you. And so we have a situation where we're not seeing a child. We're having these images coming out. They're not looking very good. They're looking as if somebody, and that somebody being family members, removed Sebastian from his home in the middle of the night. Other than that, that's all we've got right now. Now, we're still, all of us have our theories, whether we think it was a familial abduction and a custodial dispute type of situation, or if we feel like maybe there's something more here, something that's, nobody really wants to talk about, right? Something a little more nefarious. This picture doesn't bode one way or another with that information, other than it appears like Sebastian was removed in the middle of the night. That's it. And I just want to make sure that people aren't jumping ahead and already, stating what they're seeing in this photo, because let's face it, we have a father here that's desperately trying to find his son. And every time we think of the unthinkable, it's almost as if we're betting against the safe return of Sebastian. And I never want anybody to think we don't want the safe return of Sebastian, especially when we talk about the things on this channel. My theories are never going to change until new information comes out that changes my theories. With that being said, there's still nothing supporting those theories. They're still just theories, okay? And we can't mistaken theories as fact. So right now, we're still in a very hopeful spot. Why are we still in a hopeful spot? We're still in a hopeful spot because, let's face it, we haven't found him in the woods, right? The woods have been searched. So, you know, the good news is that there's a lot of areas that didn't produce Sebastian in any state, right? And as long as he's not found, we will never know what condition he's in. So instead of looking gravely, let's look positively and pray to God that this is truly a custodial issue and that they removed him from the home because they couldn't take care of him anymore and they just needed him out and they wanted to fight for their whatever, you know, their stepdaughter or what, you know, Faith. Thank you guys. Oh, you guys are so super, super, super sweet. Thank you. Thank you all. Oh, I missed you, Alicia. Thank you. Can you please tell them? Oh, okay, good. I'm glad I jumped on the bandwagon and said happy birthday. I missed this. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Lady 7 up 14 long months in this crazy, insane asylum. I love that button. By the time we're done with this year, everybody's going to be like, we need to do something about them buttons. I feel like there's going to be a conspiracy on how to break into Casa Bullhorn to remove the buttons. Oh, thank you, Lady 7 Up. Yay, 5 wonderful months. I love it. I love it. Teresa, thank you so much for the super sticker. And I got time today. Thanks for being you, BHB. Thank you. Thank you. So I just really want to just put that in perspective. And I have to keep continuing to put that in perspective because I got to constantly tell myself the same thing. Right. And so if I'm constantly having to tell myself the same thing, I want to make sure that I implore that to my audience as well, because I don't want to get distracted. I don't want to go into a rabbit hole. This is not, you know, we're not seeing, you know, something. I mean, we're seeing something bad. We're seeing, in my opinion, what we're seeing here is a child being removed from their home in the middle of the night. OK, by the mom and stepfather. That's what I'm seeing. And I believe that somebody else is inside of that vehicle besides just the stepfather. So that's just an opinion and a belief. But what I truly think we're seeing there is mom and stepfather removing the son. So let's get past that now that we have an understanding and you guys would like to potentially have a different or altering theory. I've got the photo up. Please look through the photo. Let me know what you think. The unscrupulous PI is mocking the photo. And we have a mockery card, and I read it often on here because if he actually had some actual information to legitimately denounce or, you know, debunk the information, he would have done it. He wouldn't have used mockery as his way of communication of how he feels about it. It's very interesting because he's making it into a laughable Dr. Soul's foot commercial. That's kind of mockery. It's disgusting. I don't understand how people support this man. I just don't. It says, when faced with accusations, like we accused, right? We had some accusations up here. Grace's Gavel and Lady Freedom Raw Narratives worked around the clock. It seems that they did some really great work to clean up an image to see what we could see. And it seems like they, after a lot of hard work, got some pay dirt from that analysis and have since distributed it to the public, which is how I found it. And instead of talking specifically about the photo, remember, he's supposed to be this expert. He made a report, even though he was working with the people that had the footage, and could have just said, hey, can I see your footage from the day so I know where the angle of the view of your camera is? He decides to go on this BS campaign to manipulate reports and try to make people think that what they were seeing wasn't what they were seeing, and that the lights actually were in the middle of the road instead of the middle of the common area, which obviously would help his clients, his paying clients that have already paid him most likely over 15 grand so far, it sounds like. So very, very concerned about them buying, disinformation and misinformation. But I digress. This same PI that allegedly knows all this information and has over 100 hours of footage in that community somehow couldn't figure out where the vocal or the range of view was from a camera with all of those videos and hundreds of hours. Remember, he said, I have 100 hours. He was adamant how many he had, but somehow couldn't figure it out. And then now we bring legitimate work to the social media, Grace's Gavel and Lady Freedom Raw narrative. It wasn't getting a whole lot of attention. And so we brought it here, and now people are seeing it. And so what do they go to? Mockery. So when faced with accusations, liars often try to discredit or intimidate their accusers, lacking factual evidence to defend themselves. In contrast, truthful individuals usually respond quickly with direct denials and provide concrete evidence to support their assertions. So it is my assessment that they all realize that this photo is probably no joke. Anyways, that has nothing to do with it. Let's move on. We need to get to Websleuths. There are some information. While this was a heated conversation, the stepfather was a hothead. This is saturated with, I truly believe we're going to find some leakage in this interview. We're going to start seeing him lose his cool. And people supporting him losing his cool. I support him losing his cool, because when he's losing his cool, he's not thinking clearly, and we're going to get some more information, because in my world, I believe he is responsible for removing a child from his home. I don't know where that child is after he removed that child, but I truly believe that he is responsible for the removal of a 15-year-old boy on February 26th around 3 a.m. That is my personal belief. So, I want somebody that I believe has taken somebody and violated the law. I want them talking, and I want them angry if they're talking, because again, they're not thinking clearly. So let's get started. This is credit to Websleuths. This is credit to Websleuths. It's also on my, my thumbnail. Here is the link to Websleuths. Again, we are not watching coming up to the point of the interview. We are just watching from when the stepfather comes on panel. I definitely, without a doubt, recommend everybody listening to this entire show. I don't want you just paying attention to what I'm showing you. I'd like you to go back to this, to Websleuths, and watch what happened prior to this stepfather interjecting himself into this show. Okay. Now there's a couple of other shows that he interjected himself into, but the most recent one was Elevated Truth. When they were having a discussion, many of us went straight to the part where the stepfather comes up on panel, and we listen from that point forward. That point forward. But when you go back to Elevated Truth and you listen to everything that went on before the stepfather went on the show, holy smokes, We missed a lot. And so I recommend everybody going and listening to that aspect, even though Elevated Truth and I do not have any type of, I don't dislike anybody. He clearly has something for me. He doesn't like how I do something in my own personal life or on my own personal channel, or how I'm doing this, because he thinks he can control somebody or make somebody do something that he wouldn't be controlled to do by somebody else either. So I don't get it. But I guess hate bonding is the stuff they sell on that side of the tracks. Either way, I don't know the guy. I don't have a lot to say about the guy. Obviously, I've ruffled his feathers a time or two. Otherwise, why would he keep throwing up my name? I don't know. I don't know. So in the interest of our channel, I call him ET because I don't feel like he deserves a plug, especially since he's judged me based upon other people's hate for me when I've done absolutely nothing to him. But he wants to stand and say he's a great guy, and he doesn't. People that do that, you don't even meet somebody or having a conversation with them, and you're already judging them because the whole crew you run with has told you this. Come on, that's childish. Definitely not adult.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Coming.
And we ask everybody to be respectful to the host and the guests on our show.
No crappy comments.
This whole thing with the comments drives me up a wall. This man should not be worried about some freaking comments. He should be worried about what his objective is for the show. If the objective for the show is to speak about Sebastian and advocate for Sebastian, that doesn't matter what's in the comments. That is the objective of that person getting on there. But if the objective is to clear their name or somehow do self-preservation activities, then that would be the only reason why anybody would give a damn of what people are writing in the chat. Just my personal opinion. But again,
please, okay?
Right.
No
this
crap.
Is about a missing child.
Right.
And that's all that matters.
And we will always be polite to our guests. Okay, so who do we have here?
Okay.
Who do we have here? I've put you on the platform.
You have me, Chris.
Hi, Chris Proudfoot.
Hello.
I really appreciate you coming here. I'm going to change the banner really quickly so everybody knows it's you. But I don't know how long you've been listening.
Long enough.
Okay, you sound angry. Talk to me.
Oh, very.
Talk to me. We don't want to get you. The last thing we want to do, Chris, is cause problems between you and Seth. I swear to God.
Well,
this is why I think this interview is important, because this was early on. This was done 9 months ago. The date actually is April 27th. So their child had been missing just roughly over 60 days. Any parent, in my opinion, would be hysterical. Absolutely, utterly hysterical if they had not seen their child in 60 days and have no clue what's going on. So let's find out whether he popped up on the channel to get redirected back to Sebastian so we can find Sebastian, or whether or not he is directing this for self-preservation purposes because he doesn't like how people are talking about him and his wife, versus I don't care about how they're talking about me or my wife. We just need to stay focused on Sebastian. This is Sebastian. He's 15 years old. He's 5'5". He's 110, 120 pounds. Dirty blonde hair to light brown hair, brown eyes, and he was wearing glasses. He did not, it doesn't appear he had any shoes on. Give us some information that people can look for and direct us back to Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Let's see if he does that when coming up here.
Well, I understand that, but let me help you with something.
Okay.
Okay, a lot of the information that I've been listening to on your show, coming from Chloe, the questions that are coming through people, it's very sickening and disgusting, to be personally honest with you.
Okay, let's talk about it.
So let me go ahead and address a few things and help y'all out.
Okay.
Since, Chloe, you're the PI. I haven't had a chance to talk to you. You haven't even called me. You ain't done anything, first off.
Heather has been
And just to remind you, this is not his PI. This is Seth's PI. It's one that he's regretted hiring and working with. Obviously, he's fired them. But at the time, I don't really know what she was doing, but she wasn't doing what I would think a PI would be doing or should have been doing. Either way, she's on here and he's accusing her of not calling him. She has no reason. She doesn't have to call him, and neither does anybody on the team. Think about it like this. If you are going to do an interview with a subject, are you going to do it without first having a level of information on that person, knowing who they are, just the basic dossier on any person? You're going to want to find some information before you ever question a subject, because you want to get them on the record, but you also want to know if they're not being truthful to you, so you can do further follow-up questions in that conversation. Because you got to look at it like this. You might get this person on the phone once to have these questions answered. After that, they may clam up. You may never have an opportunity. So you have to be knowledgeable going into any type of questioning. And Heather obviously had a better tone maybe to speak to Chris. Thank you, Lady Dragon. Thank you for the 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships from Lady Dragon, don't forget to tell her thank you. Thank you, Lady Dragon. Welcome to the Insane Asylum. And Justin's voiceover. Oh, we love Justin. We love Justin. And we love picking on him too, right? We love picking on him too. I'm just joking. So we're going to start seeing, as you can already tell, he's not here for Sebastian. He's here to tell people off. He's here to turn this from Sebastian to make it about how he's feeling and how this is, hurting his feelings and his wife's feelings. Mind you, they have no clue where their underage child that disappeared from their home is, but they don't know what's happening to him, whether he's being hurt or otherwise, but it's about their hurt feelings. This is their hurt feelings campaign.
The only one. Heather is the only one who has reached out to me or to my wife. So for you to sit on this show.
Listen to how he speaks. He's very possessive of his wife. He always refers to her. He never refers to her as Katie. He always refers to her as my wife, my family, mine. Very possessive.
Sit here and give information that you have, that you don't have all the answers to, is a problem.
Okay, well, Chris, help us understand, because I know Chloe, and Chloe wants to help. And the last thing Chloe would do is want to put out misinformation. And the problem is...
I understand that. So let me just smash something real quick.
Smash it.
Okay.
Okay, first and foremost, anything that goes on between me and my wife is not a damn bit of anybody's personal business.
Who believes when a child goes missing from a home, from a locked home, with a very specific person, and that person does not wake up inside that home the next morning? Who believes that what goes on behind those closed doors is nobody's business? If you believe child missing, it has nothing to do with the household environment, put 1. If you believe that what goes on behind those closed doors when you have a child missing is absolutely pertinent, put a 2 in the chat. And while I'm waiting for you guys to poll in the chat, I want to remind you that I'm not a bossy, I'm aggressively helpful. And if you're not bossy and aggressively helpful as well, please don't forget to hit up Sonia, this is a shirt that she has on stock right now for each and every one of you. Pick your color, pick your print, and you got a shirt. So don't forget to hit Sonia up. I love these shirts. I love these shirts. They're good, thick shirts. Good quality shirts, I should say. Okay, so the majority of people believes that when a child goes missing, what goes on behind closed doors is absolutely pertinent. Lady Rosa says that's why Socks was at Warsham's very early as she was staging, getting rid of stuff and putting things in that storage and papers dropped out of the box or bag. Interesting. SPED teacher says Edgar made Sebastian out as not capable of doing nothing. He belittled the child, makes Sebastian out to something that he is not, so no one would ever believe Sebastian that is a narcissistic person. I agree. And that comes back to the deception detective, because I am, I'm doing what I'm asking everybody to do. I'm going there and I'm reviewing the videos, and I'm reviewing more than just Sebastian videos because I'm trying to learn these cards and understand what each of the, have a great understanding of what each individual card means and represents and how he explains it. I mean, they explain it on the back of the card, but seeing it applied, by the deceptive detective to specific language helps solidify it in my head. So I'm going back and constantly reviewing and learning about these cards. But I was watching on Sebastian's one of the Sebastian's videos, and he was talking about, and no, actually, I don't think it was Sebastian. I think it was maybe John Benet Ramsey or another one of the, because it was for a card. And I remember them saying that, are we looking, maybe it was the one for Seth. I can't remember. I watched a few videos on the Deception Detective yesterday. And one of them was talking about whether or not the parent is justified. It was Seth. Whether they are going to put the child down and make it their fault. And I never even thought about it that way. We heard how Chris and Katie were talking about Sebastian every time they spoke about him. And we all noticed that they seemed to speak down about Sebastian in those interviews. Every time they have an opportunity to learn about Sebastian, they're learning the worst of Sebastian. The fact that he's wearing diapers, the fact that he has personal space issues, the fact that he likes to pee and poop on himself, according to a stepfather. And he said likes to. He likes to do that. I don't know anybody that likes to pee and poop on themselves. Okay? But that's what he told Terry Lynn, that he likes to do that, which is very, very, again, disturbing language for somebody like me. But it has that tone of putting him down, blaming him, making it justifiable in his head, which I never looked at it like that way. And when I did, it kind of made my heart sink just a little bit. Because we've been identifying this from the very beginning, but I didn't know it was attributed to something else. And I can't remember. We'll have to go back and look at that in just a second. Thank you, Lady Dragon. God bless you.
I don't care what you think. I don't care what y'all got to say. That'd be like me splashing all your business out to the world.
Okay.
It does not matter what goes on in my house. We're looking for my son. That's real simple.
I'm going to make sure I state this each and every time that a-hole calls Sebastian his son. It is not 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 his son. It is Seth Rogers' son. Sebastian is Seth Rogers' son. This man never treated that boy like it was his child, unless he treats all children this poorly.
Your stepson, right.
It doesn't matter. Stepson, my son.
Stepson.
All the kids are treated as if they're your own. There is no title, a stepson, a son. It does not matter. That boy is loved by me just like he is my own. Just like he's my own.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'd rather be hated than loved by that man.
Chris, may I ask you something?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've been doing this for a long time, and let me tell you why people are asking personal questions about you and your wife. Okay, it's because of the situation in which Sebastian has gone missing, and they're wondering if whatever happened between you and your wife, does it have something to do with Sebastian going missing? I swear to you, it's not to be nosy. It's not to be rude. It's just trying to figure out what happened to Sebastian. And
okay, so let me make this even crystal clear for you.
Okay.
And everybody out there that's got all these negativity, disgusting comments and questions that y'all think you know anything about, when honestly you don't know a damn thing. And that's the problem. You assume.
Y'all, we don't know a damn thing. Not a damn thing. Just saying. Not a thing. Just assumptions.
You speculate, all this crap. You have no idea what me, my family, my wife.
Nothing to do with Sebastian. Nothing to do with Sebastian. Him, his wife, his family, what they're going through. Oh my God. Oh my God, what they must be going through. I wonder if it's worse or better than what Sebastian is going through. I wonder when he's going to give a crap what Sebastian's going through, or how Sebastian's Give me a second, y'all. Apparently people don't like listening when I say I've got. All right, sorry about that. It was my yard man, and I can't deal with him right now because I'm here on a live, so I told him to come back afternoon. All right. So let's get back to this.
Questions that y'all think you know anything about, when honestly you don't know a damn thing. And that's the problem. You assume, you speculate, all this crap. You have no idea what me, my family, my wife, everybody involved is going through, to include Seth, his mom, and everybody else.
Oh, to include them.
Okay.
Well, I'm glad you finally included them, but you still never even included Sebastian. Out of that whole entire thing, everybody else was more important than the child that's missing from the home. I want that pointed out. I want that blown up by the rooftops.
It's the vile, disgusting crap that comes out of people's mouth. Yes, I'm a very pissed off stepfather to this whole situation.
Okay. And I understand, and I hear what you're saying. But again.
So let me help y'all with something.
Okay.
Y'all said some shit that's really, it's really none of your damn business, but since you brought it up, I'm clearing.
Okay.
My parents didn't go to Alaska 2 days after he went missing.
I don't think
Why
anybody
my parents
said
went
that.
to Alaska was because my stepfather went for work.
Okay, nobody said they went 2 days after he went missing.
Oh, no.
I don't remember. I know it was shortly after. I'm not sure if it was 2 days, but it was very short, very, very much shortly after this child went missing. You would think the family would stop any type of vacations or work because there's a child missing. Their family member, all hands on deck. But it didn't stop anybody from continuing on with their life, which again is just another issue many of us have, because children are precious to us. They're not disposable. They're not replaceable. And they're not something that can just go disappear and we just move on with our lives like nothing happened.
It's out there, trust me, because I have
Okay,
terabytes.
I did not say that.
Nobody
I didn't say
said that
you.
here. Okay.
I said people.
Okay.
Now I have terabytes of videos of Seth on here saying some foul stuff. I've got videos of everybody and their comments out here.
But
Trust me, what I'm bringing to you is not that I'm just pulling stuff out of the air.
So far we have, I guess the situation is we've got nothing about Sebastian on this statement so far. It's been about everybody else, but the one person that it should be about. And this is a problem. So what is it? Let's keep listening. Let's keep listening. There's more to come. More to come. You guys hear how angry he is. I'm going to tell you, you should not open your mouth in anger. And there's a reason why you don't open your mouth in anger. You don't open your mouth in anger because it's harder to control what comes out. And I think it goes back again to that leakage card on the deception deck.
I understand. No. And Chris, I'm glad you cleared that up. That's good.
And by the way, they didn't go for a month.
Okay.
They went for 2 weeks. My stepdad went on business. My mom
2 weeks.
I went with him, but it's really nobody's business.
Why would a grandma go with a grandpa when they're having a family crisis? Usually they divide, we've all had family crisis. We've all had family crisis. And if there's something that one of our family members can't get out of, it's still all hands on deck for the other members. It was something she did not have to go to. She elected to go to if this statement is true. Which to me, the timing is really odd for me. It's like we need to get the hell out of Dodge. Timing for me.
Well, but Chris, let me and please understand. I swear to God, I'm coming from a place of understanding because I've been doing this for years. Okay.
So we definitely know there is a cat behind her. And the reason why I'm saying this is because we were on Brittany J's last night. Brittany J was covering a different show, but there was a cat behind it and making some noise. So there is a cat in this video. I have to assume it's Websleuths' cat. So, because I know she's got cats, they go out, they come in. I remember her in this interview she's going to stop here in just a moment to let her cat out or in or something like that.
Here's the thing. When you ask the public for help, they're going to look at everything and try and figure out what happened to Sebastian. And let me from an outsider looking in, it's okay. His parents left town shortly after. Was there a reason? Did they take Sebastian with him? It is speculation that I am sorry it's hurtful to you, and I understand it. And that's why it's important that you clear it up. Just clear it up. Nobody's trying to be hurtful or mean.
And she makes a valid point. Right? She makes a valid point. Why are you spinning? If there's nothing to see here, why are you making a big deal about it instead of just saying, look, this was planned. We didn't expect our child to run away from home. It was so important. They couldn't get out of it. And they immediately came back as soon as their job was done to help aid in the search of our child. No big deal over here. Oma says the cat was a lie detector. So, and not only that, but everybody knows it's all about motive, means, and opportunity. So when you invite true crime in, we're looking for motive, means, and opportunity. And we go through everybody's life. Okay. Anything that's on public record, we go through, we connect the dots. We have timelines. We have family trees and charts and, there's a lot that goes into these cases on our end that many people don't even realize. They think we just come here, turn on a camera, and we're ready to go. But there's a lot of stuff to review because let's face it, we have to think on our feet, right? You guys are in chat. You guys have the ability to go be Googling while you're hearing me talk. I have to pay attention to you and play, what I'm showing you guys on here. I don't have that opportunity. to go check out those things on, unless that's how the show is designed for us to do a fact-finding show. But at the end of the day, it seems pretty simple. Just instead of arguing with every question answered, especially if it's a nothing burger, just explain it and move on and be done with it. Like, it's taken 15 minutes to argue this point for what? For what? If there's nothing to see, they had a job. He worked, he had to go meet. This was something they couldn't, that would have been explainable. This was something that was pre-planned that they could not get out of. So it's done. So because he's arguing about this so intensely, it makes me feel like there was something to this trip. Now, I'm not a believer that this is a trip that removed Sebastian and took him across the country, but we don't know. It's a possibility, right? But the timing is suspect. The timing of this trip is suspect. But when CP is asked a question, he reacts angry, that's exactly it. It makes you, because of the way he's answering these questions, and so angry. And how dare you ask these? Like, we don't know unless we ask. I was always told there's no dumb question until there's a dumb question. But you can't look into a case without motive, means, and opportunity. And if they could explain why they didn't have the motives, means, and opportunity, we could have moved past them a lot quicker. But instead, they argue about every little damn thing to ask me the tough question. How dare you ask me that? I mean, it's like a freaking game.
I promise you, we've all been asked to help find Sebastian. And this is what we do. We try and think outside the box. We try and ask questions and think outside the box and figure out what has gone on.
But
it is not
meant thinking outside of the box does nothing but cause speculation. And it causes people to call in tips.
He is literally saying, do not think outside the box. Did you guys just hear that? Do not think outside the box. Do not speculate. Do you know that law enforcement has to speculate so they can figure out what leads they need to acquire and start going down that road to find out whether the tip holds water or not? They have to speculate. How do you think that they search for people? They look at the map and they speculate on the path of travel. Speculation is 100% a used strategy by law enforcement. So is theory-based investigating. Thank you, Feisty Mama. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, don't forget to tell Feisty Mama, thank you. Welcome to the Insane Asylum. So I don't know. It seems weird to me that he wants help finding his stepson, but don't be calling in. Let's just listen to that again. I'm dumbfounded with what I just heard.
We've all been asked to help find Sebastian. And this is what we do. We try and think outside the box. We try and ask questions and think outside the box and figure out what has gone on.
But
it is not
meant thinking outside of the box does nothing but cause speculation. And it causes people to call in tips that don't mean anything, that you're taking sources away from the investigation because Joe Schmo down the street thinks that my family owns a cemetery. We own a funeral home. I
tried to tell people that wasn't necessarily true. There was a Proudfoot that's associated with their side of the family that's a director at a funeral home. I think Justin for All would be the most knowledgeble person to ask to find out how funeral homes, their incinerator and stuff, how regulated is that? I personally don't know, but that's definitely a Justin question. And I think Justin might have the answer. If he's in chat or comes into chat, make sure you ask him that. I've been meaning to ask him that for a long time. And every time I talk to him, it just slips my mind. but he would be the most knowledgeable. I'm curious to find out what the protocols for funeral homes, especially the incinerator, are. Right? We can't have incinerators in places that people have access to, that have no background checks to. I mean, that seems a little crazy for me, but we need to find that out. We need to find that out, because where are these children going? Not that I'm saying that the incinerator is involved. I'm just simply saying that the incinerators and stuff are brought up quite a bit on multiple cases that we go over. I mean, it was brought up in the Summer Wells case as well. So it'd probably do us some good to find out what their protocols with the government are. And I don't know. If somebody knows or can send me some information, that would be awesome. That would be way awesome. How much do you want to bet that's the information these PIs refused to show Seth somehow magically made its way into SF's inbox instead? Yeah. They all work together. They're all crap. I like legitimate PIs that like to be sleuth and stealth, not public, and throw a lot of information out there. I don't like that. Some of this stuff goes to the integrity of the investigation. And while I do, in a journalistic aspect, want to get my hands on as much information as I possibly can, I also think about the victim, and how this could affect the victim. Once it's out, it's out. You can't unring the bell, So once something is out there on the internet, I will talk about it. But it's all about preventing it getting out there to begin with, especially if it goes to the integrity of the investigation. And I would hope that a lot of creators would, give that stuff over to law enforcement and give them an opportunity to review it before they just drop it out there for the world to see. Just, to each their own. They don't have to. I just want to make sure people know it's not unlawful to get information with shoe leather work and put it out there for the world to see, whether or not it does, interfere with an investigation. It's freedom of press. So the best situation is preventing it from ever getting in the public realm to begin with. And that's the balance that needs to be had in these cases. But it's not people's fault for looking and finding. You see what I'm saying?
Where in the hell do you get up with this stuff? Okay. Not you. I'm saying the public.
And so that, Chris, that's why it is great that you're here, because we want to clear this up and help you get it out. And I'm going to tell you something, Chris, when it comes to the general public, they're always going to be calling in crazy tips and doing crappy things. And all we can do is say, that's not us. We are not doing that.
But it doesn't matter, though.
I did want to clear it up.
That does not matter. Doesn't matter one iota.
I did reach out to you on March 17th, publicly and privately. You responded to me publicly. You asked me to ask my question publicly. I did. You didn't respond. I reached out to you privately again. So I have reached out to you.
Where in the public? Where?
I reached out to you on Facebook. I reached out to you on Facebook Messenger privately. You've never read my message.
Well, don't take this the wrong way, but a lot of the bullshit that I get in Facebook.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just want to make it clear
Can I explain to you?
Yeah.
You send me messages along with thousands of other people.
I understand that. And that's why I took it public. And you did respond to me and ask me to ask my question publicly because you wanted whatever answer you were going to give to be public to clear it up.
What was the question that you asked me? Since I neglected your question.
And that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I want to make it clear that I haven't not tried to reach out to you.
And Chris,
APS.
I know you're mad. I can feel it. I can hear it, and I understand it. You've got to believe me when I tell you this. Please, if you can dial it back a bit and get us some of these answers and let us help you clear up this bull so it doesn't interfere anymore. And like I said, you're always going to have crazy people interfering and coming up with rumors, and it's so maddening and frustrating, and I hate it. It pisses me off more than anything, and anybody that knows me knows
It
that.
pisses you off? You're not in our shoes.
I know.
You haven't been in our shoes.
Okay, well, you don't know that, but I haven't been in your shoes and missing a child, no.
So, again, we're still, all this time, we've been sitting here listening to this, and we are picking up on some cues. Nothing really overpowering just yet on what was stated unintentionally or the leakage. I think all of this is painting a very big picture for most of the audience, because this is 2 months after a child disappeared, and you could hear how angry he is for himself and his wife. He has absolutely zero concern in his voice or in his commentary for a victim that is missing, that was missing from his personal home under his wife's personal watch. And so far, not a damn thing about the concern for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Not even urgency to find out what happened. Not even the wherewithal to change the direction of this conversation and turn it back to Sebastian, talking about Sebastian, pleading to somebody, whoever may have Sebastian, to let him go, speaking directly to Sebastian. None of that. Just anger over how him and his wife are treated when they have no clue where a 15-year-old child is their child, and they have no idea what he's going through. And this man is angry for himself and his wife. Angry. But not angry that his stepson is not home. Why is he not angry or concerned or worried sick that his stepson is not with them and that they're in this position to begin with? I think so.
But believe me, I can understand what you're going through, and what I'm saying is we can help you, Chris. We can help you. All right. Anybody here in this chat that asked about a cemetery, it's because somebody else brought it up. Just tell us.
Exactly. And my question comes back to, where do these people come up with this crazy crap?
That's $1 million question. I don't know.
Yeah, online.
Let's clear it up.
Fact finding. Fact finding. It's called fact finding.
Let's clear it up for you. Let us help you.
You're saying, I believe, Chloe, you're saying online. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm sorry. I said that. There's a lot of
Stacy.
crazy people online. And just to let you know, I understand you get a lot of messages. I reached out to you when Sebastian first went missing too, to see if we could help in any way. So.
Yeah, but Chris, I understand your anger,
Andrea.
but I'm telling you, please let us help you. Okay. We're not here to point fingers at you or whatever. But the problem is, and this is what we were talking about earlier, Chris, when the public is asked to help and then no information is provided, then people, because of social media, and social media is here to stay, unfortunately, this never used to be a problem, never, until social media. And it's terrible. I will be the first one to admit it's terrible. But let us help you clear it up, okay? So
I think social media in this environment is terrible. I think social media in general is not terrible. I think it helps. We've got a bad taste because of the hate channels and what the hate channels do, and we have all seen exactly what they do. Brigading congressmen, brigading law enforcement, brigading the DA's office. You know, they do dirty stuff. They reach out to people's parole officers and probation officers, even though most of them have their own. So yeah, the hate channels are giving true crime a bad name. That's why it's very important to kick drama out of the true crime genre. The true crime genre is here to help. We try to advocate. We don't care about people's opinions or their feelings when we're analyzing cases. We just bring what we see here. And it's very hard to deter somebody when they have put blood, sweat, and tears into the research and somebody's trying to call them a liar. No, thank you. No, thank you. So there's a lot of people out here that have worked around the clock. Many of us don't even know each other. We find each other, like I found Grace's Gavel and Lady Freedom's Raw Narratives, right? We don't know each other, but we found each other by the work on the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. And so I love seeing people coming together and working and putting their work out there for everybody else to see so we can help as well. When that stuff is kept to yourself and only yourself, the rest of us can't help expose the information or start eliciting more people coming in and coming up or giving some leads or something like that. We're now seeing it. This is my call to whoever knows something. I believe there are people out there that know something that were not involved in Sebastian's disappearance. I am going to plead to your good senses and your conscience. This is coming out. Being silent's only hurting you and only hurting Sebastian. Silence has got to be weighing on your shoulders. The stuff that you know has to be keeping you up at night. You know why? Because your body's telling you you need to do the right thing and you're fighting it. So your body is fighting you. That's why you can't sleep. So I'm going to ask you, if you have information about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, please come forward. Not only will you be helping Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, you could be eligible for a $250,000 reward. A $250,000 reward. That is life-changing money. If you're getting ready to go to college, that is a free ride to college and a nice ride to get you there. If you're a little older, that's your pool or your home for your family, paid for free and clear. This is some significant amount of money, and somebody holds the answer. And trust me, these people want to give you that money because we want to bring Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers home. We want to bring him home safe to his father. But if that is not an option, we want to make sure we hold all those accountable for his disappearance. And right now we have a huge prayer circle online going on, not only for Sebastian, but the victims of the plane wreck. So I hope you all light a candle and say a prayer for both.
You don't own a cemetery and you don't own a funeral home. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, everybody stop with that bullshit. All right.
Here, let me add this to the thing. We don't own a private plane. We don't own 78 pieces of property. Mm-hmm. We don't own a private yacht. What else do you guys want to come up saying that we own? Like we're millionaires or something. Like we've got this money growing off trees, which, by the way, it'd be great if we did, because I guarantee we wouldn't need anybody's help because he'd have been home by now.
Right. No, I understand.
What does that mean? If they had money, he would be home by now? I don't understand what that means. If they had money, he would be home by now. How does he know that? How does he know that? That was a statement of fact, not an opinion.
Understand. No, I completely understand. Okay. But understand, when the public is asked to help with social media, this is what social media does. And it can be your
worst nightmare
or your best friend.
Yes.
And let us help it. And I can give you examples. I can have you talk to people that have said, yes, the people at Websleuths, they've helped us. They've been great. Okay. Yes. But hey guys, I understand why Chris is angry, because it's coming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Horrible crap about him, okay, and his family. I get the anger. So we're going to help you. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let my cat out before she drives everybody crazy. So I apologize. So hang on. Chloe, is there anything you'd like to say while I let my cat out before she drives me nuts?
I will ask the question. I'll actually read you the message I sent you. This was March 17th. Good afternoon, Chris. I wrote this in a chat you're involved with, but I'm worried it may be lost because there's so much chatter. First, let me say I'm a Tennessee private investigator and have been praying and actively bringing awareness to Sebastian from day one. His case is near and dear to my heart. I had a question. I know Sebastian went to his dad's every other weekend or so. Did you come home on those weekends? Not a specific date, but just in general. Or did Katie come and stay with you? Are you often gone during the week? Just curious about Sebastian's day-to-day dynamic with his parents. And then I messaged you again after I posted that question publicly. You asked me to post it publicly, and I did, and then I wasn't answered. And I said, hey, Chris, just messaging again. So it'll be at the top. I know you said you get a ton of messages.
So she did reach out. That's what he said. She wasn't reaching out. Well, she's saying she did reach out. So maybe he means if he could afford a group home, he wouldn't have made KB get rid of her son. I mean, there's something with that statement. That was a statement of fact. There was one statement I said, I don't know how many of you guys were with me at the time. I know my mod squad was, but there was a statement that I had said, many months ago. And I said, and this is back when I learned that Chris had reached out to Seth to take Sebastian, in 2023. And was it 2023? Yeah, it was October 2023, a year after they had originally first approached him. And I remember making a statement. I wonder if Chris was now working overtime to get Sebastian to his father because he knew Katie was having a breaking point. And I remember just saying that one time and just, letting it go. I don't think I brought it up at the one time. It was early. It was back in March, maybe the beginning of April. Somewhere in that area, that 1 month area, I made that statement and I forgot all about it. But when somebody had brought that, what I had just posted down below here, where it said, maybe it was if they could afford a home for him, it just popped back. Hey, Tony, good morning. It's nice to see you. It makes me wonder, if that's what he was referring to, because something happened. We don't know what yet. It's something. And it's starting to paint a picture, and not a so good picture, but we don't have anything definitive yet. We just have stuff that's supporting some of our claims is all we have.
So, and again, we understand that you get a ton of messages. We absolutely understand that. Is there somebody else in our chat room? I can't see it.
Heather.
Heather, do you want to come up? I guess she does.
I'm here.
Oh, she is? Okay. Oh, hi, Heather. I didn't see you there.
Hi.
Okay.
There was a lot of talk. I didn't really have a chance to say hello.
And Heather is the other private investigator.
Yeah, I know who Heather is.
Okay. Heather, would you like to say anything?
Well, so I spoke with them earlier today, and obviously, as you know, Mr. Proudfoot did message me and ask for a number so he could come in. And I think that it is past due. I think that it's a good thing for Mr. Proudfoot to address some of the allegations that are being made. I would like to have the opportunity, like I said to him earlier today, it's good for us, Chloe and I, to have access to them, to be able to, when we get this information, instead of having to go around them to other sources to try to get the answers to those questions.
It was a statement, and this is for you, Peek. It was a statement made by Terry Lynn when she was walking through the woods searching for Sebastian early on. She had made a statement that she heard of a poker game going on at Little D or Big D's house, and that Sebastian got in trouble at that poker game. So that's where it came from. I know exactly where it came from. I don't remember exactly which live it was because she was doing quite lengthy lives at that time. So I don't know where it was in the live, but I was actually live watching her searching when I heard the statement made. So I know where it came from. I still never have found anything to support that. We found some information that leans that it might hold more water than it once did, but it still never came to fruition. So we still don't know definitively about that poker game.
To actually be able to come to him for those answers and try to clear them up directly. So I'm glad he's here. I really am. Even though he's
I am too. I'm thrilled. I'm
even though
absolutely
he's
thrilled.
angry, I'm glad he's here, and I've spoken to him before, and he's been very upset with me before. But once he calms down, I think maybe we can get somewhere. Maybe we can get somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's address something real quick with your viewers who say I'm drunk and belligerent. No, I'm just a pissed off dad. So let's get that real clear.
A pissed off dad that hasn't spoken to one iota about the child missing. What a great parent. Let's worry about this person's feelings. Let's worry about this person's feelings when there's a child missing. And so far in the last 20 minutes we've been listening to this, not one reference to Sebastian or what he's going through or worry about him or anything. It's been about mostly the mom and stepdad, and occasionally he throws in Seth in the group as well, but nothing about Sebastian.
Hey, everybody, mods.
So if you want to keep your comments and that's how your audience wants to play this game,
No.
then no, I'm not going to clear up anything or turn the chat off.
So it's a game. It's a game to Chris Proudfoot. To play this game. Nobody thinks this is a game. But the first person that talks about it being a game is Mr. Proudfoot.
Hey, everybody, mods.
So if you want to keep your comments and that's how your audience wants to play this game, then no, I'm not going to clear up anything or turn the chat off. If you want to clear this up, let's get it right. And let's take all the stupid.
He won't talk about Sebastian unless people are talking nice about him. He's not going to clear anything up for anybody if they don't start changing the way they're talking to him or about him. Right? He's supposed to be here for his son, which is really his stepson. Yet he doesn't even mention what's his name again? Maybe if he said his name a little bit more, maybe he'd remember who he's speaking about instead of himself.
Stupid people out of this equation and answer the deals.
Okay, Chris, hang on. Mods, if anybody says anything rude about any of our guests, I want you to ban them. Kick them out. Okay?
It's like this. If you ain't got nothing factual about me to say, keep your mouth shut.
Well, okay, but Chris, they don't know if it's factual.
Exactly.
Okay. Keep your mouth shut and don't ask questions. Just take what we are telling you and run with that.
Exactly. So that's the best recommendation I can give them.
Well, but they want to ask questions, and let me tell you why.
Questions are one thing, not a statement where I'm belligerent and I'm drunk, because guess what, folks? I could read the comments that you post.
I know. And
we have identified that the mom and stepdad do like to engage in alcohol frequently. Come on, clicker. Click.
telling everybody, if anybody says anything rude, they're booted from chat. Mods, if you could boot them. Stacy, could you get Ping over here to help us? Anybody?
And the other part of this is if it's nothing in regards to Sebastian, I really don't give a shit, people.
No, and I agree, Chris. And I mean, I don't know if you heard, I didn't want to discuss.
Oh, I asked a lot of questions and she wouldn't discuss it. Absolutely.
I think it's semantics at this point. He's been missing for 2 months, and I don't know how his bathroom habits are going to help me find him.
Exactly. Mind you that children with autism do have bladder and bowel movement issues to control themselves. But
Oh, so it doesn't help to find him, but let's just throw it back in there again that he has incontinent issues, when we now know most of those incontinent issues are a direct result of the lifestyle he was living inside the home with him and his wife.
I'm not really worried that people can't read and do their own.
Well, but Chris, let me
stuff.
tell you.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and care about that either.
Let me tell you why that was brought up.
All right.
Okay, it's because of what Seth said. Seth said at his house he didn't need it.
Yes, you are correct. No, you are correct. You just hit the nail on the head.
Mm-hmm.
You just hit the nail on the head. Seth has opened his mouth. He has said a lot of things he probably shouldn't.
He is the father, the biological father of this boy. If anybody's going to open their freaking mouth, I'd rather hear it from the father than some piece of crap stepfather that likes to hit medically needed children with belts.
And he needs to learn how to close it, because quite honestly, none of that has anything to do with finding Sebastian.
Right. And you know what? But Chris, let's keep it that way.
What does any of this have to do with finding Sebastian? Oh, he loves to judge others. He loves to judge others and throws Sebastian out whenever it's convenient for him. But what has anything this man has done to advance or help Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers or locate him? I'm not going to hold my breath, but I'll be waiting for an answer.
Because Seth has said he is not going to do that anymore, and he hasn't.
Bullshit. Let me explain to you why. That Sunday when I went to that vigil and spoke to Seth very calmly.
You guys hear him slapping his hand. Let's go back. You guys need to hear this very closely. Listen. Listen. Listen.
He is not going to do that anymore, and he hasn't.
Bullshit. Let me explain to you why. That Sunday when I went to that vigil and spoke to Seth very calmly, very respectfully, we were having a good conversation while everybody stood behind me and would snap them little pictures and stuff. Heather came up in the conversation. She saw us. It was not a aggressive conversation. It was actually a good one.
Mm-hmm.
But see, it wasn't 3 hours later. Seth was on YouTube on somebody else's show, sitting there. He's blaming Katie, my wife, for Sebastian's disappearance.
So, Chris goes up to Seth and tells Seth how things are going to go and leaves the vigil. Now, I'm just going to plead to your parental nurturing side for all of my audience, whether you're grandparents, parents, whoever you are. If you would take the time to go up to a vigil to talk to your ex about a missing child, wouldn't you assume that you would stay there, especially when you're speaking to the significant or the ex-spouse or ex-boyfriend? When you're speaking to them saying that you want to work with them, how do you think it makes that father or that other parent feel when you leave the vigil? Don't stand there after you say you want to work and help and be a united front, and then go to a motorcycle shop shopping for a blessed motorcycle while that other person's having to deal with all the pain and emotion of the prayer vigil when they don't know where their child is. And this person is upset that the father had something to say after that nice conversation that they had. My thing is if you're going to go to a vigil, have a conversation with the other parent and talk about working with them, I would expect your ass to stay there for the blessed prayer vigil and say something nice and encouraging to the people there praying and begging for this child to come back home and to come back home safely, not to run off from the vigil and go motorcycle shopping for your upcoming motorcycle rally. Sorry, I somebody like me does not understand that. Somebody like me believes that the father has every right to condemn these parents that aren't acting right. that aren't grieving like the other parent is. I would be questioning if I had a significant other and a child missing, and my significant other was unconcerned about my child missing. Yeah, I would have problems. How does he know that they're unconcerned? Because they were just there at the vigil and left to go motorcycle shopping. Why couldn't the motorcycle shopping have waited until after the vigil had subsided, had ended? Why was it so important right then and there to leave a vigil for your missing child to go motorcycle shopping? And never once praying to see your child again? Your priority was a motorcycle. Okay. Okay.
Now, unless you got cold hard facts, which you don't.
Those are cold hard facts.
Don't open your mouth. Because all you're doing is making an ass out of yourself because you're assuming.
Say that everybody is grieving and handling this situation differently. I won't comment on if I agree with any of the ways that people are acting at this point. I do think, in the last week, we've been trying to build a bridge. And I know it's difficult and it's not going to be just clean and perfect, but I think if we can all just refocus and try to not focus on the other things people have done that make you angry.
So here, let me explain to y'all something that y'all don't get a chance to see, because unfortunately we're meeting on a very bad circumstance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but Seth can contest to this. So Seth comes to Tennessee. He gets his job in the security force. He wants to be law enforcement. He has had a dream.
What does this story have to do with finding Sebastian? This is a make me feel better, make me feel like I am the king of kings. Nobody should look at me because I helped the father be closer to his son. BS. Two of my stepsons unalived. Oh my God. Sorry to hear that, feisty mama. Two of my stepsons unalived them. It tore me apart. CP can't go to a vigil or say anything positive about Sebastian. He is not a parent, in my opinion. I couldn't agree with you more. I'm so sorry to hear about your stepchildren. That's got to be very, very, very difficult. I know if anything happened to my stepdaughter, even though I'm divorced from her father, I would be lost. I will tell you that.
Of being law enforcement since I have known him.
Okay.
There was a chance for something that came up, and I called him and said, look, I think you should apply for this. I think you'd be great at it, which is the job he currently has.
Okay.
Now,
he can't be a bad guy.
He gets accepted. He's excited. He calls.
Guys, he cannot be a bad guy. You guys hear this? He cannot be a bad guy. Look at what he did. Look how helpful he is. Look how much of a wonderful stepfather he is. He helped the father get a job to be closer to his son. How could he possibly be a bad guy? He just can't, y'all. He's done all of this for the benefit of their blended family. Not because they wanted to get Sebastian out of their house. When did he start helping Seth? Maybe that needs to be the question we ask ourselves. When did he start helping Seth? Was it before or after he decided he didn't want Sebastian anymore? Just asking.
Me and says, thank you, man. I really appreciate you helping me. That I have been a supporter and a cheerleader for him this whole time.
Can't be a bad guy.
But y'all don't get to see that. And Seth's not going to tell you that. During the middle of the training, Seth decided one day he wants to call me, tell me he doesn't think he's going to complete it. But I told him, I said, look, You're going to sit there and you're going to go back in there and you're going to complete this training because your son thinks you hang the moon and the sun. So you need to go in there and prove to your son that dreams and goals can be met.
Mhm.
I have
Right.
been very, very supportive of him trying to do these things. I have told him on Sunday, I supported him then, I would support him now. But I
told him
will
on
not.
Sunday. Told him on Sunday at the vigil he will support him then and he will support him now, but he left him. He left him. In one ear, he tells him he has full support. He wants to work with him. And in the other ear, he left him all by himself and went motorcycle shopping.
Stand by and watch somebody be straight up disrespectful and accuse people and say things that have absolutely no bearing. Absolutely nothing.
Okay, well, again, I just, if I could just step in.
I mean, Chris, I would love for us to refocus and talk about not necessarily the investigation that we can't talk about, but what has been done, what you understand about dog tracks, what you understand about the circumstances. We could go on and on all night, and I know we have a lot of really big feelings that are valid. But I think Heather would agree. We would just really love to redirect this back to Sebastian because the anger doesn't solve anything.
It's not truly all anger. It's disappointment.
No, and I'm not saying that. And I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, at this point, it's just
not helping find Sebastian.
Yeah, and it's like an energy vampire,
Right.
and we're all tired. And I can't imagine how tired you are. I know how tired I am. So I would love to redirect back to what you know and what you think.
And then I have some questions that I hope you can answer that will help clear things up.
I'll answer questions unless it's something I have been told by law enforcement that I cannot answer. I've said that from day one, and I'm telling you now.
Okay, well.
The lie detector test determined you are a liar.
We now know for a fact law enforcement has come out and made sure they have informed the entire public. They have not advised Mr. Proudfoot to speak one way or the other. They have never told him not to say this, not to answer that. They didn't give him a list. They didn't counsel him. They didn't give him legal advice. None of that. That is what law enforcement has come out just recently and told us. So everything that he's saying when he says law enforcement told me I can't say that is code for I don't want to say that, and I'm going to blame it on law enforcement. And law enforcement has now recently corrected that mistruth and said they have never advised anybody one way or another whether they can speak or not speak on a specific matter, and have no authority to do so. I'm pretty sure they had another part in there that basically stated that they have no authority to do so.
It has not changed. So ask your questions.
Did you pass the polygraph?
Yes, I sure did, with flying colors.
And it was TBI that gave it to you?
Yes, TBI gave it to me along with another agency.
Okay.
No, that was kept quiet because it's
Wait, whoa. Along with another agency. Did he take two? Did he have to take two polygraphs? Whoa. Is that kind of similar to like how he said when we were sitting at our dinner table and we get the knock at the door and it was the same lady I'm used to dealing with? Is this the same type of oops? Whew. Let's listen to that again. Let's listen to what he says.
From day one, and I'm telling you now, it has not changed. So ask your questions.
Did you pass the polygraph?
Yes, I sure did, with flying colors.
And it was TBI that gave it to you?
One.
Yes, TBI gave it to me along with another agency.
Two. He had to take 2 separate polygraphs? He had to take 2? Why would you need two polygraphs? Why would you need 2 polygraphs? And it sounded like they were back to back. They knew the vigil had no effect on them because they know the truth. Your truck was caught on Wi-Fi, so who is carrying Sebastian out to your truck on the night he went missing? Because it sure does look like you and KP carrying Sebastian to the back of your truck. Looks like they're carrying it to the back of something. I don't think we've done an overlay with Chris's truck. Nobody's done an overlay with Chris's truck on that image, have they? Huh. Melody says he has his whole family backing CP and KP. He don't like the attention on the truth for Sebastian and Seth. He don't want anyone looking at the get over yourself CP. He knows that he will. An SI officer says, and if they didn't go to church and have any kind of a conscience, they would have come forward and spoke of what happened instead of hiding it. But they don't want to live behind bars, in my opinion, too much to hide. I believe there's a lot to hide here. I believe they've been trying to hide a lot.
Okay.
No, that was kept quiet because it's nobody. We kept it all quiet.
All quiet.
Well, no, I mean, I think it's great that you're telling us now.
Right. And, Seth knew about it the day on that Tuesday when I took it, passed it. They called and told him that I passed it.
And, okay. Well, maybe he was told he couldn't say anything.
No, he was told he could say something. They told him so he would try to keep his rhetoric down.
Oh, I'm sure that's why they told him. So it sounds like Chris had them reach out to him, much like he tried to say that law enforcement doesn't want them speaking to media. And so TBI put out the post saying that the Proudfoots or the family has asked and requested them to make this statement instead of the other way around. Something like that.
That's why they told him. And I have the text message where they asked me if they could tell him. And I said, I have listened to y'all from the beginning. I'm listening to you now. So please do what you feel is best.
Okay. So you passed the polygraph with flying colors. Let me ask you this.
That was a lot of information, don't you think? I think there might be a deception deck card for that, where they give you such a long answer for a yes or no question. I think that might have something to do with it too, because that was a really, really long answer to say, yes, I passed the test. A very, very long answer. And I think there was leakage in there because I think now we just uncovered that there was 2 different polygraph tests taken by 2 different agencies. I never like hearing that.
People in chat are asking, did you tear down any posters of Sebastian, you or anyone you know?
This is going to be interesting because I've heard he was out there pulling them off of posts. I wonder if he has any deception deck features to this answer. Let's see. He could just say no. Just put that out there.
That is a straight up no. And I can't believe people would think I would.
He could say no. That's a straight up no. So he answered the question and then he goes on with the rhetorical question.
Down flyers or posters of my missing stepson.
Okay,
which,
again,
another thing which is kind of funny that you bring this up, because some people, and yes, they are pertinent to the investigation, have said that there's a video floating around of me tearing these things down.
Mm-hmm.
If you got it, post it. Because if you ain't got it, shut up.
And I mean, I'll say on
And I gotta say, if we apply the deception deck here, I think the deception detective would say that was a truthful answer. I don't know, but I think that was a truthful answer because he started off with, no, I did not do that, went to the rhetorical question, and then went to everybody saying that there's a video exists. Well, then show it. So I don't know. I would, again, I'd love to see the deception detective review and analyze this particular video.
Record from myself, I have never seen that.
And
exactly,
I also want to
because
say,
it doesn't exist.
I'm sure it doesn't.
and I want to say on record that in my conversation earlier with Chris and Katie, Katie said she had one request of me, and that was that when I do these interviews, that I, at some point in the interview, remind people to hand out the flyers and put them up everywhere.
Please, all we're begging. I don't know how to beg you even more.
Let's hear that again.
I don't.
Record that in my conversation.
I'll say on record from myself, I have never seen that.
And
exactly,
I also want to
because
say,
it doesn't exist.
I'm sure it doesn't.
and I want to say on record that in my conversation earlier with Chris and Katie, Katie said she had one request of me, and that was that when I do these interviews, that I, at some point in the interview, remind people to hand out the flyers and put them up everywhere.
Huh. Interesting. I got a lot to say about that statement. One, you're answering requests for not your client, for the people that your client hired you to investigate, and now you're speaking on their behalf. That's one of the first glaring things. But it's the mother that's telling and instructing her to make sure other people are passing out flyers. And this is the same woman that would not go out there and even look for her son. Hasn't stepped into any store. Hasn't talked to any stranger about if they've seen her son. Definitely is not wearing clothing all the time with her son's photo on it. And definitely not making strive to make sure he's well represented in their community, to make sure anybody visiting there would know that there is a missing child and it's her missing child. None of that is going on. None of that. You know, to this day, Jennifer Kessie, the girl that we were talking about from Orlando, her parents live here in my county, Bradenton. And do you know they still put flyers up 19 years later, big banners on corners of intersections to this day? 19 years later, we'll be driving by and a new banner will be put up. And these people won't even go out of their house and ask everybody else to do the legwork for them. And these are military trained mom and stepfather that have more wherewithal, more expert and sophisticated training than a lot of lay people out there. And they won't take their expertise and help find or locate their own son. That is, to me, just the worst of this whole story. We have military trained parents that could do a wealth of research if they just go outside of their house and actually put their training to use for their own self.
Please, all we're begging. I don't know how to beg you even more. I don't know what it's going to take for America, the world, whoever, to understand. We are begging you to hang posters, talk to whomever, spread the words, keep your eyes open. And when you find something, don't wait 2 weeks to make a report. Because let me tell you something, that's what's been going on. Some of the leads that are coming in are 2 and 3 weeks old.
I guess that complaint would actually mean something if they were out, instead of criticizing the people that are out there searching, and actually be out there searching themselves. These type of mistakes wouldn't happen because they would have been told firsthand instead of second or third hand if they would have just gotten out of their house and looked for their son.
Instead of when you see something, you pick up the phone immediately and you call the cops.
Yeah.
Says
Don't call your best friend and say, hey, I think I've seen this kid. Don't call these investigators. No offense, Chloe and Heather. You don't call them first. You don't call Seth. You don't call anybody. but law enforcement only, and make your report immediately.
I will say,
As he's smacking his hands, don't call Seth first. Call law enforcement first. You all just heard him say that, right? No? He just said that. Can you explain to me why he would call Seth first before calling law enforcement when he was reporting his stepson missing? When he dialed a non-emergency dispatch line? Can somebody explain to me why he made calls before he called 911 himself in a critical moment of learning that his stepson was not in the house and not hiding from his mother? Why did he make several calls before calling law enforcement immediately? Even though for months he told us he made the call immediately. Little food for thought.
hey, we've received tips that maybe haven't been called into law enforcement, but we call them in. And we also received tips that have been called into law enforcement, but the person that called the tip in didn't get any feedback when they were told they were going to be called back. And so they were worried that maybe it didn't get looked into enough. So I don't want you to think we're not
for the record,
passing
right.
tips
So
to law
for the record, I think what folks need to understand, because no, y'all don't have all the information that Katie and I and some of the information that Seth has. You don't. And I
Listen to what he just said.
For the record,
passing
right.
tips
So
to law
for the record, I think what folks need to understand, because no, y'all don't have all the information that Katie and I and some of the information that Seth has.
Some of the information Seth has. Do you guys hear how boastful he is about how he and Katie are the only ones that know information about this case? They're the ones that know everything about this case. This is what he is trying to impress upon the audience here, is that he and Katie have all the answers, and Seth has a few, but they're the ones that have all of them. I want you to listen to that again, because I think this statement is important. What does it mean? I don't know, but I know it's important because it's a facade he's trying to exude here, and I don't know what the angle of the facade is.
So for the record, right. So for the record, I think what folks need to understand, because no, y'all don't have all the information that Katie and I and some of the information that Seth has. You don't.
Think so,
and I understand that. And I'm sorry that we can't give you every single thing under the sun. I wished we truly could. But unfortunately,
we can't give you everything under the sun. I wish we could. This is a man that is speaking from knowledge, in my opinion, because he's acknowledging he knows everything about this case. In this particular clip right here, in my opinion, this is a subtle confession, in my opinion. A confession of what? I don't know, right? I don't know. But it's clear he knows everything. In this particular interview, he makes it clear that he knows everything and he can't speak about it. Let's listen to that again.
I think what folks need to understand, because no, y'all don't have all the information that Katie and I and some of the information that Seth has. You don't. And I understand that. And I'm sorry that we can't give you every single thing under the sun. I wished we truly could. But unfortunately, we can't.
Right.
But
so he is at least at minimum having knowledge of specific facts related to Sebastian and his whereabouts, but he can't tell them at this point. He wishes he could, but he cannot. Hopefully nobody's here. I think I just heard somebody at my door on the other. I'm going to have to put a sign. Oh, I'm still on my live.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I didn't start out back, cleaning up the styrofoam.
Yeah, please. Put it out front, please. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Still here. Looks like I'm going to have to go here shortly. I've got the lawn man here. He's going to be driving me nuts all day until he gets his work done and gets paid. So, anyways, so to me, it sounds like he has knowledge. Let's go back 5 seconds.
Under the sun, I wished we truly could, but unfortunately we can't.
Right.
But when you do make a report and you give them a name and a number, you tell them the location, you tell them a very detailed description and everything, you don't expect to get a call back from law enforcement, period. Don't.
Mhm.
Because I'm sorry, but they don't have the time to stop and answer every single callback when they're looking for missing children. Not just ours, but there's so many children out there that are missing.
Right.
So I'm sorry that
it is a pet peeve of mine. An absolute utter pet peeve of mine when we have a parent, any parent that has a missing child and they're concerned about other people's missing children. Because I can guarantee you, those parents of the other missing children don't care about his missing child. They only care about theirs. When push comes to shove, you take care of your own. That's the way it's supposed to be. And I'm not criticizing any parent. I'm not saying that the other parents are bad for not thinking about anybody else's children. It's just that they want to make sure theirs is safe before they worry about anybody else's children, right? When you're in a plane, no pun intended, because of the situation that's going on, but the oxygen bags come down and they tell you to put yours on before you help the person next to you. Okay? There's a reason for that, because you need to take care of yourself before you're able to take care of somebody else or help somebody else. So that's why this statement here, it drives me nuts. Don Wells said the same statement, something similar to this about all the other kids. He even started talking about North Korea, for the love of God. I mean, it annoys me. It annoys me.
some of y'all feel that you deserve an answer, but it's not. And I'm sorry, it's just going to sound rude when I say this, but you don't deserve an answer. You'll get the answer when we get the answer. The family gets the answer on a.
But he just acknowledged he has all the information and he can't disclose it at this point.
Missing boy. Not strangers. They're not calling y'all to tell you.
Oh, thank you, Gypsy.
Chris,
bless you.
This is what I have to tell when I talk to law enforcement. And it's difficult to accept, and I still have trouble with it too. This is the way it is. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. But again, when you ask the public for help, people are going to start looking, and they look at the last place that Sebastian was known to be. And then it just goes from there. And I'm sorry, it shouldn't, but that's how it does. And we can clear a lot up tonight. And I'm so glad.
I'm sorry. What do you mean it shouldn't? It shouldn't. That's exactly how investigations are done. They're done from ground zero and work out from ground zero. They don't start from the furthest point out and work their way in. That's not how it's done. What shouldn't? That's the only way to do it. I'm sorry. I don't know of any other best practices other than to start from ground zero. Just saying.
Yes.
Okay, BW says, Chris, are you frustrated with law enforcement, or do you feel like you're getting adequate information from them?
I'm not upset with law enforcement.
Every parent is upset with law enforcement when they can't find their child. Everybody. Everybody. Feisty Mama, thank you so much for the gifted Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership, welcome to the Insane Asylum. We got Feisty Mama, and we already read that. Very sad, and we are so sorry, but you are right about CP and KP, for that matter's behavior during these vigils. Gypsy, thank you so much. Love you, my friend. Thank you for being a member as well as subscriber and gifting Bullhorn Betty memberships. God bless you. For those that received your gifted Bullhorn Betty membership, please don't forget to tell Gypsy thank you and welcome to the Insane Asylum. Thank you, guys.
I'm going to tell you right now, the agencies that are involved have thrown every asset that they have at this. What people don't understand, this has actually probably been one of the largest searches for a missing child in Sumner County history, period, and probably in the state with the number of assets. Do I think they're doing everything they can? You bet your sweet tail I am. You can bet on it. I don't think, I mean, just short of making everybody in this United States go hand in hand, start on one side of the country and sweep through hand in hand, that's probably about, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, I'm very happy with what they've done. I know there are some other folks that don't feel that way, and I'm sorry because they are not.
Nobody ever accepts law enforcement is doing enough when their child is missing. Period.
In the know. But you do have to remember one thing. They're not going to expend every single asset, every single minute of the day.
Thank you,
on
Izzy
one child.
girl.
Of course.
You have to keep in mind how many children are missing, and it has to be equally dissolved among everybody.
Dissolved. That was a weird choice of words. Dissolved. Dissolved. Izzy girl gifted 5 Bullhorn Betty memberships. If you received your Bullhorn Betty membership from Izzy girl, tell her thank you, my love, and welcome to the Insane Asylum. What else do we have here? A lot of interviews are telling, yes. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this and that statement dissolved. That was just a weird place to put it. Let's listen to that.
At every single minute of the day on one child.
Of course.
You have to keep in mind how many children are missing, and it has to be equally dissolved among everybody.
Dissolved. He was about to say divided. Why did he stop from saying divided to say dissolved? Dissolved? Is that a Freudian slip? Dissolved? I don't know. I think what we are going to do is leave that there. We're creeping up on 2.5 hours. We will be back. I got the yard guy here, and I've got to get some things out to the front. So let's be back here around 4:30. We'll be back here at 4:30 today. We're going to go over the rest of this interview. I know we have it. Did we meet our goal? Did we not meet our goal? I think we've met our goal. I think we met our goal enough for what I needed. I'll open up the phone lines. Let me see what we got here. We've met our goal. I mean, we have. So we'll be back here at 4:30. We'll go over this interview and we'll open up the phone lines and have a chat about what we're hearing. And it'll give everybody a break, give me an opportunity to handle some stuff, stuff I've got to do around here. And we'll have more conversations. I want you guys to really pay attention to the language in this, because I do believe, because he was so hot-headed, we're going to hear a lot of slips in this. And we haven't reviewed this interview in several months, long before we learned all of this information. And since this was the first time he lost his cool, I thought that this would be a great opportunity for us to really analyze some language and temperament that he is exhibiting through this interview. There's a lot to be said about this interview. This interview was very lengthy. It did cover quite a bit, but it really kind of showcased the lack of urgency, the insincerity, the intimidation, the controlling behavior and nature of the stepfather. I really think that this really does showcase what I believe the stepfather's normal temperament is most likely to be, especially when he's frustrated. And it sounded like Sebastian frustrated this stepfather a lot. So I think this is important to see how he handles himself when he's frustrated. And if we think that that's appropriate behavior for an autistic child that's in his care. I really think we need to be looking beyond just the words and attitude and really be looking at the hostility that can be exuded from this gentleman. And he is a caretaker of a child that is now missing. This is very concerning, but it does kind of give you a peek in behind those closed doors to show you who this man truly is and whether he was really appropriate for the care and as a caretaker for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. And the more I learn about this family and stuff, the more I think that Sebastian should have never been in their care to begin with, especially after he got hurt. Back in California, there should have been a lot that went in there. I mean, they've been having CPS involved in their life all the way back when they lived in California, and this boy was 8 years old. And we're finally finding out that for the last 2 years, they've had 5 visits. 5 visits. This boy appeared to have been accustomed to having the Department of Children and Family Services involved in his life. He probably thought it was normal as much as they were involved in his life. And we on the outside looking in know that this is not normal. And how are they able to hide this so well from Sebastian's father? That is, to me, very alarming and very concerning. Anyways, guys, we'll be back here at 4:30. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. Don't forget to be fearless. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe, but more importantly, kind to one another. And I just want to take a few moments and just thank everybody that helped sponsor the show and help raise money for the lawyer expenses. Every single penny helps. I'm very appreciative. I know you don't have to do this. It's your hard-earned money. And I just appreciate you trusting me and helping me through this time that has been very public, by the way, to everybody. And we're just trying to seek justice, seek justice and vindication for me and my name, my good name, and continue to work toward answers when it comes to the Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. And I would never be able to do the work that I do without each and every one of you, even the ones that can't support financially. You watching the videos, that helps. That helps raise it. That helps get it out further. You guys do a lot of great work. It's not me. It's you. Each and every one of you guys coming here, each and every one of you guys that participate and send me stuff through the email. You are truly Sebastian's army. I'm just a talking head for Sebastian's army, right? We stand behind Seth. We are marching for truth. We are marching to bring this boy home. We're doing everything that we can lawfully and legally to find out what happened and to get justice for him. Because let's face it, even if he comes back in not so good condition or in the best condition, something happened to him and somebody is responsible for it. They took this child away from his father that loved him and needs him in his life. And all he wants is his son to come home so he can take care of his son moving forward. His mom and stepdad never have to see him, hear from him, or anything. Wash their hands of their son. All he wants is his son to come home so he can take care of his son and they can move on with their life together. That's it. And I want nothing more than to help facilitate that goal, to bring Sebastian home and to bring Sebastian home safely. But at the end of the day, even when he comes home safely, I want people held accountable because they took this child away from his father. They made his father worry. Look at all of the expenses this has cost their community, cost our nation. The work that's been done by strangers in the absence of the mom and stepdad. All the tears that we've shed, racking our head to find out what could have happened to this boy, thinking the absolute worst, because nothing makes sense. So we're going to continue to keep fighting. We're going to keep striding for the truth. We're going to keep welcoming people to dive in and not give up. We're going to welcome anybody that wants to do any type of work on images. If they have the wherewithal and they can do it, do it. It's all hands on deck. Let's uncover whatever we can uncover and let's get it out there. Let's get it out there. All right, guys. God bless each and every one of you. We'll see you back here at 4:30. Take care. Yep. So far, I'm so far down where the music was. Not even near my intro video or outro video. All right, here we are. Have a great day, guys. From the East Coast to the West Coast, we are everywhere true crime is. We are asking for the public's help. We are searching in the woods. We are doing what it takes here on the Bullhorn Betty channels to find answers to the most alarming cases we have been watching on the news. I can tell you personally that I have traveled this entire country seeking these answers and bringing that content right here to you here on the Bullhorn Betty channels and Bullhorn Betty Crime Stories. We are happy with the work that we've done. We brought many answers to the public, and we have defied mainstream media in our pursuit of the truth in these cases. We will continue to work, we will continue to fight for these victims, and we will continue to tell their stories here on my channels. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty brand of channels and the Coffee Club. Thank you for your love, thank you for your support, and more importantly, thank you for allowing me to bring these victims' stories to each and every one of you, advocating for each of these victims. God bless you. God bless America, and more importantly, God bless our victims.